A man named Eddie in New York City is trying to retrieve his van from a repair shop, but he can't afford the bill, even with all his rent money. He ignores a call from his daughter Sarah to argue with the mechanic, explaining he needs the van for deliveries and to pick up Sarah. His ex-partner then calls, angry that he hasn't picked up Sarah from school and accusing him of never prioritizing their daughter. Desperate, Eddie steals an employee's wallet from a table, but it contains little money. He then attempts to open unlocked car doors on the main avenue without success. One car's barking alarm startles him, but he befriends the dog and gives it water. His friends are unable to lend him money, and lottery tickets yield no prizes. When Sarah calls again, Eddie answers and listens to her complaints about being abandoned, though she still expresses her love for him. After the call, Eddie finds an unlocked fancy SUV in a remote parking lot. He gets inside to search for valuables but only finds sunglasses. When a person walks by, he hides his face. The door then locks on its own, trapping him inside. He tries to open other doors and kick the windows, but they are unyielding. A tablet on the dashboard rings with a call from Answer Me.
Okay.
But Eddie ignores it, unaware he's being watched by a hidden camera. He tries to break a window with a lug wrench, but it doesn't work. He then injures his arm trying to access a panel on the door. His phone has no signal. With no other options, Eddie answers the call and meets William, the car's owner. Eddie insults William and demands to be released, but William retaliates by tasing him with the seats. William explains that his car has been broken into multiple times, so he installed a security system that turns the vehicle into a prison. Eddie fires his gun at the bulletproof window, and the bullet ricochets, hitting his leg and severely injuring him.
Hello?
What do you want?
Oh, I need to explain. I want to talk to you. Hello, can you hear me?
Out of the fucking car!
Oh, sorry about that.
Someone parks nearby, but the car's tinted, soundproof windows prevent Eddie from getting her attention. William, claiming to be a doctor, refuses to call an ambulance for Eddie's bleeding leg. Eddie's phone still has no signal, because the car is jamming all signals. Tying his shoelaces around his leg doesn't stop the bleeding, and William continues to tase him for using profanity. Eddie passes out from blood loss and electric shocks, waking up later that night to rain. He discovers his injuries have been bandaged. His water bottle and snack bag are empty. The next morning, William calls and tries to share his life story, which provokes Eddie. William tases him again, turns on the air conditioning, and blasts yodeling music for hours, driving Eddie mad. That night, Eddie uses the seat covers as a blanket due to the cold. The next morning, Eddie apologizes to William, who turns off the air conditioning but still won't release him. Eddie urinates in the empty water bottle and tries to dismantle the car to find an escape route, but nothing works. When William calls to mock him, Eddie notices someone watching from a balcony. Their conversation leads to Eddie being tased again for being sassy. Eddie warns William that he'll be in trouble if Eddie dies, stating his gun is only for protection. William dismisses this, believing the police are useless and he won't be caught. William reveals he has cancer and only 4 months to live, which is why he feels compelled to seek justice himself. William asks for Eddie's social security number, promising leniency if it's a first offense, but threatening to cut off his fingers if he has a criminal history. Eddie refuses, arguing that people are forced to steal due to systemic failures and wealth hoarding by the rich. Offended, William tases him again and restarts the music. In the evening, the car's temperature rises, forcing Eddie to strip. He considers drinking his urine, but can't bring himself to do it. William offers water and normal temperature in exchange for the social security number, and Eddie accepts. After getting the number, William turns off the heat and reveals he had hidden a water bottle under the seat when bandaging Eddie's wounds. After drinking the water, Eddie discovers an unfinished lottery ticket in his jacket pocket. He scratches it and laughs upon realizing he's won the money he needed. William calls again, and Eddie sincerely apologizes for his crime, begging for food. Convinced Eddie isn't a psycho, William opens the glove compartment, revealing a snack and a switch inside before it closes. William hangs up to take another call, but Eddie overhears the conversation, confirming William is a doctor. William announces he must leave, and Eddie sees the figure on the balcony move, realizing that's his captor. Once William leaves the balcony, Eddie gives the camera the middle finger, receiving no reaction, which means William isn't watching. Eddie then breaks the glove compartment and photographs the circuits inside. He tries to reach the switch with his arm, painfully breaking a nail. When he tries again, the seats tase him, indicating William is back and watching. The next day, Eddie pretends to rest while trying to reach the switch with his foot inside the glove compartment. Another day passes, and Eddie is so weak he drinks his own urine. That night, his foot finally reaches the switch, turning on the car's power. Eddie immediately drives off, but the car stops after a few minutes. William calls to mock him, and the car starts moving again, but William is controlling it remotely. As the car drives through the streets, William plays classical music and rails against crime in New York. Eddie panics as the car speeds up and stops in an alley where two criminals are beating a man. William turns on the lights and honks, attracting a thug who shows a gun. The car speeds up and runs over the thug while William laughs. The second thug runs and shoots at the bulletproof glass, but the bullets are ineffective. A chase ensues, and the criminal is trapped by a gate. William slams the car into the gate to hit the man, then continues to push until the thug is severely injured and bleeding. Eddie convinces William to stop, but William just mocks him and then crushes the man's skull. Furious, Eddie curses, and William plays loud music while speeding the car through the streets, narrowly avoiding other vehicles.
What are you doing here?
Feel safe. So, contact!
No, no. Stop! Stop!
Let's have some anarchy! Stop! Come on, Eddie.
The car enters a parking garage, races up ramps, and speeds on the roof, stopping at the last second at the edge, causing Eddie to hit his head and pass out. In the morning, Eddie wakes up in the still-moving car. William reveals he visited Eddie's family and took Sarah to school, pretending to work for a nonprofit. William scolds Eddie about alimony as the car stops at the school, and Eddie is horrified to see Sarah emerge. The car follows Sarah home, passing close to her as if to kill her. Sarah speeds up on her scooter as Eddie cries and apologizes. William makes the car go faster. Eddie tries to shoot himself with his gun, but it's empty. William explains he removed the bullets when stitching Eddie's wounds. Eddie remains silent the rest of the day while William rants. That night, Eddie snaps, ripping out cameras and breaking the tablet. The car doesn't stop, so Eddie records a heartfelt apology message for Sarah, unable to send it due to the jam signal. The car stops in another parking lot, and William lowers the window. Eddie tries to attack, but William tases him into submission. William sprays perfume due to the smell of Eddie's feces and tells him to bind his wrists with zip ties, which Eddie does after another shock. Once Eddie's hands are tied to a hook, William gets in, puts a bag in the back seat, reloads the gun, and gives Eddie a cigarette and gummy bears. William starts playing classical music and drives off. Eddie repeatedly asks about William's daughter, causing William to stop the car and make Eddie hit his head on the dashboard. William rants about the new generation and reveals his daughter was killed by thieves trying to steal his car. He puts his gun to Eddie's head as they argue about justice. Throughout this, Eddie keeps his foot in the glove compartment and finally presses the switch, turning off the power. The car loses control and falls off a cliff. Eddie breaks his nose on the dashboard. William accidentally fires his gun, and the bullet ricochets, hitting him from behind. The car stops near a river, and both men lose consciousness. In the morning, Eddie's phone sends the message because the jamming system is off. Eddie wakes first and breaks free from the zip ties as William awakens, and a fight ensues. Eddie beats William and prepares to shoot him, but Sarah calls. William tells him to answer, and Sarah expresses worry after hearing his message. Eddie reassures her and promises to pick her up. The car engine catches fire. Eddie asks William to open the doors, but William says it was fun and dies. Eddie finds a hammer in William's bag and uses it to break a window. He escapes the car just before it's engulfed in flames. Eddie walks away with his winning lottery ticket, leaving William's body to burn. A driver sees Eddie bleeding and offers him a ride. Eddie then goes to pick up his van, but the mechanic is still working on it. Not wanting to be late, Eddie sells the van to the mechanic and buys a bicycle to ride to school. He reunites with Sarah, giving her a tight hug.